We start with continued coverage. 19-year-old Shaktoolik woman has been missing since January, chanting, "Bring Kelly home." Her loved ones held signs at last month's state basketball tournament.
Now, that chanted name, Kelly, is for Kelly Hunt, who never made it back to college after stopping in Anchorage.
She's been missing for 3 months now. Augusta McDonald takes a look at the multiple efforts to find Kelly, and here's what she learned.
Missing posters of 19-year-old Kelly Hunt are still hanging around the Spenard neighborhood where she was last seen. Family tells me she was on her way to Soldotna for a semester at college.
We just have some questions about the Kelly Hunt case.
We went back to her last known location where she was staying with a friend from school.
I guess describe to me what happened then, that you knew she was going to be here for like a couple of days, right?
Her friend and the other people in the home who last saw Kelly don't want to be on camera. But they told me she walked out the door around 6 a.m. the morning of January 7th.
I'm curious who's come and talked to you and asked you questions about what happened.
We're also asking what steps were taken after Kelly was reported missing on January 11th. Her family told me they thought she made it to Soldotna and immediately alerted police when they found out she hadn't. Anchorage police spokespeople told us they sent out a rave alert via text and email at 11:45 p.m. the same night she was reported missing, which they say is the most effective way to quickly reach a large number of people. Her older brother flew to Anchorage on the 12th to look for her and turned over her iPad and laptop to police. The people living here told me no one checked the security camera above the door. We confirmed the card was full and did not record the night Kelly went missing.
So everything we did was just online.
Kelly's family hired a private investigator who asked to remain anonymous to do an initial search.
What was the initial information that you had?
We had a last known place where she was, which we visited that place, got some information from some of the people, and then just tried to track her down from that point. The case went pretty cold at that point.
Anchorage police say while they can't share information about ongoing investigations, the case has been assigned to homicide unit detectives, which is APD policy, and they're actively following up on leads.
Her family reached out to me. I made that flyer for them.
MMIP advocate Antonia Comack began searching for Kelly the day she was reported missing.
It was very concerning to me from the very beginning because her brother Edward told me that she left her belongings at that house. What young girl leaves without their purse, leaves a large amount of money in the house, and only leaves with their phone? She was heavy on my heart.
A concerned community member, Alexis Savage, who led this effort at last month's game, says she's used social media to source information about the people Kelly may have been in contact with and shared it with Anchorage police.
I felt like I handed it over to them, and like I said, we don't really know what's becoming of it. So it kind of feels like there's nothing being done. I hope I'm wrong, but it really feels that way. There was no urgency in the beginning. The only people talking about it was basically me and her family. There's never any urgency until it's too late.
Anchorage police told us, quote, APD policies and procedures have been followed in response to the Kelly Hunt missing persons case, and said they posted on social media and their website. I spoke with Kelly's family. They want to extend a thank you to everyone who has helped search for her.
And we have more information about this investigation. Anyone with information on Kelly Hunt's whereabouts is encouraged to contact Anchorage Police at 311 or 907-786-8900. You can also submit tips to Crime Stoppers online at anchoragecrimestoppers.com.
Well, the American Red Cross is looking to provide financial help for families who are still recovering from former Typhoon Halong. They're reaching out to people whose homes were destroyed or seriously damaged in Western Alaska. If you are picked, you'll get a text or an email, and you can complete the process by using the link provided, or you can call 1-800-733-2767.
Well, Alaska continues to see a steady rise in those temperatures, with sub-freezing air becoming a thing of the past.
Yeah, Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry joining us. Felt pretty good around 2 a.m., Melissa.
If you're up bright and early, yeah, you know it was a warm start to the day. But this is the warmest day that we have seen in the morning since back in October. And it's the first time that temperatures held above freezing overnight in 159 days. That's the 7th longest stretch of below freezing temperatures overnight that we have ever recorded. Right now, it's pretty comfortable. We are seeing a little bit of that cloud cover. Temperatures, though, sitting at 41 degrees. The winds are now calm. We still have a chance for a few showers overnight. We'll see that up into the valley also as you head out to Juneau. But you can see those temperatures are warm. Ketchikan, 46 degrees, 39 in Fairbanks and 37 in Juneau. And while the showers are going to wrap up tonight in south central and move to southeast, we do have another storm system already brewing. That will bring some wet weather to western Alaska. In fact, we're talking snow for Nome down into Bethel tomorrow, and eventually we'll see that storm pushing east into south central, but that doesn't happen until Friday. So that leaves a break in the weather for most of south central and the interior for your Thursday, for your Friday Eve. Tonight we'll see those temperatures slowly dropping back into the low 30s, right to about that freezing mark tomorrow morning, and then high temperatures right back into the 40s. Sunny tomorrow afternoon for Anchorage and Fairbanks, rain showers for Juneau. But hey, it's rain and not snow, and it'll be a rain-snow mix for those of you in Bethel in the second half of the day. So slowly but surely, we're seeing those warmer temperatures moving in. And I'll look at that extended forecast next.
Looking forward to it, Melissa. Well, new tonight, a man has been convicted on the 2020 death of his Fairbanks roommate.
A jury found 37-year-old Aaron Haig guilty of manslaughter, second-degree theft, and tampering with physical evidence. An indictment claims Haig killed 61-year-old John McClelland and hid his body. Haig admitted to the killing while on trial, but claimed it was in self-defense. The jury rejected that claim.
Now, the Department of Law says that state troopers received a request to do a welfare check on McClelland. Just suspicious texts were sent from his phone saying he was in the hospital and needed $8,000. He has not been found.
Well, the Department of Law says Haig became a person of interest. He then hitchhiked to Anchorage, staying in a homeless shelter in the Sullivan Arena, pretending to be his younger brother. And while in the homeless shelter, Haig took the idea of a man named Anthony Alcorn, started a new life in Oregon using that man's identity. Haig allegedly lured Alcorn to Oregon, promising to pay him a good-paying job, and killed him to keep his identity. Haig was arrested in Oregon, charged with first-degree murder and identity theft in Oregon.
And sentencing for his Alaska crimes, that's scheduled for August 11th. He will then be taken back to Oregon for a trial on his charges there.
So the Arctic Front, very unique. It's a place like no other for service members in the U.S. And people serving in Alaska, they have to be ready to conquer every part of the state, no matter when that call comes.
Absolutely. Georgina Fernandez shows us how they're preparing to tackle the state in this week's Northern Front.
Miles of untouched terrain. It's a playground for sure out here.
Just get into the brush right there to your right.
A strategic one for these service members trekking through 6 Mile Lake.
I'm going to be posted up here at this corner.
Taking position during their 6th 73rd Security Forces Squadron Arctic Combat Development Course.
This is our bread and butter.
As they focus on fighting in the Arctic and preparing their bodies.
These guys just experienced this past week -26.
For Alaska's sometimes unforgiving weather, where Mother Nature can be your worst enemy.
This training is not like any other training that a member will seek. When it comes to the Arctic environment, it is extremely cold. It's extremely difficult to survive.
On the Arctic front, it's a different playing field than anywhere else in the U.S. As service members rip snow machines to get around, and even skis to operate in Alaska's vast terrains.
Most of them are like snowboarders, so going to 2 planks is definitely something different for them.
These service members must be ready to operate in any part of the state, from the lowlands to the tundra.
So being out here and training in this environment is crucial, especially for those that work in the Arctic realm.
No matter how cold it gets.
And with this being record-breaking cold for the month of March in the last recorded 55 years, I think we hit it on the nail, or the nail on the head with this one.
The course focuses on preparing service members for the harsh realities of the Arctic.
There it goes.
From maintaining a fire.
Otherwise, when it goes out, you're basically as cold as the outside.
To consuming more calories and ensuring you're wearing the right gear.
Now you know your field of fire.
All while focusing on air and ground-based defense for combat operations and defense positions.
Now they got to sustain out in this cold environment and survive in the cold environment. And the sustainability ultimately is what it comes down to.
For Alaskans, this frozen terrain can be a playground. For these service members, it's the front line. Georgina Fernandez, Alaska's news source.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.